Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Business, and just want to do a quick run through of my only 5-star run of the Halloween event. Now, just going to throw this out there. These are my skills for the cruiser. The cruiser's my favorite one of the bunch, so I run 5 2-point skills. The faster you can get those cooldowns, the better. Adrenaline Rush makes it even more powerful, and on top of that, you definitely want Last Stand because of all the crap that's flying around. That's the important stuff. I run IFHE because on the chance that I'm actually using AG, having that additional damage there is pretty damn nice, and you've got a 48% chance of fire to begin with. So there's no real reason to not take IFHE. So none of the other stuff really matters. Superintendent doesn't give you any additional charges, this or that, regardless of what you're running. So you just run the premium versions of those, the premium consumables, and you should be fine. So I think this was actually our first matchup with Daedalus and also Nethercat, and I am in the cruiser, Dat is in the carrier, and we have Nethercat over there in the battleship, the Turpits. So, and in the replay here, they have their actual name, not the, like, both the allied and the enemy ships have the real ship names, not the ones that you see when you're actually playing the scenario. I've had a lot of trouble lately, by the way, recording anything, so yeah, this one proved to be a bit of a bitch too. A lot of frame drops and things like that. They did a good job with making this event overall, but holy crap, man, the frame rate would just tank, especially later on once all those ships started coming in. You've got torpedoes everywhere. The torpedoes are still the main part that needs optimizing, and it's been that way since the end of closed beta, when you know, oh my god, the Kitakami and everything else, when you could just have that many torps in the water. It just brought every system to its knees. It was awful. But the main thing, just stay out of the filth if you're the cruiser. You can't gain any health in there outside of using your awesome Inversion charge, which is your main consumable. You do have a radar that has unlimited usage, so always try to just keep that rolling, make sure everybody has information, of course. I'm not entirely sure how much longer is left on this. It's whenever the next update drops is when this goes away, so just to bear that in mind. But you know, all of these have drastically reduced cooldowns, and you know, as far as like the repair and things like that. So and this filth really lives up to its name. It looks like somebody's, like, Bigfoot's toilet bowl, basically. It looks really quite a lot like shit. So you know, as far as the overall gameplay here is concerned, I mean, the way they surge out of here initially from the gates, you know, it sets everybody up to get some damage and whatnot. With the destroyer, I found that to be very difficult, and you know, it was my first time with the destroyer. I did well. I didn't do well with it any other time after that. And I could see the Turpits, or I'm sorry, the Bismarck turning his guns towards me here, so I know some shit's gonna go down, and that's when I use the Inversion charge. And the best thing to do here is not to do a full broadside salvo, but to ripple it. That way you get the full benefit of that healing coming back to you, and it's more of a constant heal, as opposed to you fire and you get the damage and you get a spike of health, and then you fire again, you get a spike of health, because you don't know what's coming in, so you want to make it as constant as possible. This was funny as hell too with the spawn point here. So there's a pile up there. There's 3 battleships, and they're all just basically having a weird orgy. Dak goes ahead and drops the really important consumable from the carrier. That would be the disrupt, which basically stops them from moving, and that's really screwed up a lot of my torp drops, you know, with both the Turpits and the Kagero. But beyond that, though, it's huge for being able to, and you'll see this later, for being able to pin down the Rasputin and also the Great Gorgon. You know, there's a lot of mechanics at play here. It's really interesting. Basically, the big problem as we engage Rasputin here, and you'll see what I mean, you don't want to use HE when you have this this inversion charge consumable up, and you also want to wait till you actually have your guns reloaded and then hit it, because you're losing a lot of potential damage there. So in this case, he's already fired. I'm not worried about, you know, subsequent damage, but you'll see that once I switched to AP, I was actually getting a shitload of health back, and so that was the important part. AP, since it has a higher raw damage just on a broadside target, obviously you're going to get a hell of a lot more health back from that. And the whole thing about the heals for the various classes, you have to deal at least 50,000 damage in order for that to really start mattering all that much. So in the case of the battleship, and you'll see this later, the field in which that green circle expands, you know, it's at 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, 400,000 damage. It doubles from the original size. So it grows to be massive, and so you can encompass more of your team as you guys get further apart. Hopefully you don't get too far apart. And another cat was going to go in for a ram here, but he kind of beached, so poor guy. And so we have Rasputin taken down. If he's in the filth, he heals like crazy, and that really sucks. And I think the Great Gorgon here does as well. If I was... I had gone up against this thing a few times with the cruiser, and I just could not seem to citadel the damn thing. It's a Shokaku, so, but it didn't seem to take the damage from AP the way I thought it would. So I just stuck to AP, you know, in the later missions. Every time I got a chance to fire against it with the cruiser. I really would have loved to have just dumped a massive amount of AP citadels on that thing. God, that would have been glorious, just to see what type of chain you could rack up against it. But I couldn't do anything consistently against it. But anyways, and the thing is, again, as far as the classes are concerned, the big problem for me with the destroyer was simply getting the initial 50 to 100,000 damage to make my heal matter. But the thing is, outside of the filth, it's a speed boost, and inside of the filth, it's a speed boost and a heal. But it only really heals you if you've already done that level of damage. So that was kind of a pain in the ass. But yeah, oh well. I learned pretty quickly to just stop playing the destroyer and go ahead and play the cruiser or the battleship, because those were a hell of a lot of fun. But I mean, I've definitely seen people do really well with the destroyer. I've had like I said, one good match. But anyways, so we lost the first tower. You can't do anything to save that, and so now it's just a matter of trying to rack up these kills as fast as possible. I've got my torps ready, and naturally I lose that side, so it gets outright destroyed, which is very common, especially on the battleship. I do run the auxiliary armaments on the battleship to try to help out with that, and still doesn't matter. I'm guaranteed to lose those each time, so that really sucked. Dak goes ahead and pulls off the disrupt here again, tries to buy us some time. Let's try to stem the tide here and catch up with killing a few of these guys. And again, this would be really great if I actually had my port side torp tubes, but yeah, you know, that's how it goes. So I've got a few seconds until I can actually do something here with the inversion charge, and I get my torps off. I'm figuring I'm pretty much fucking dead here. I've got HE loaded, and I'm just waiting for it to happen. But luckily my torps get to the other Bismarck, take him out, so that was good. And then we get our inversion charge ready to go here, but I'm feeling pretty good now, since I'm pretty sure Dat popped his heal, and also Nethercat popped his heal as well. So we've got some, you know, some healing going on here. And this is the main thing, is what people didn't realize, and what was very, very poorly communicated to the players at large, was just what the consumables were. So you saw a lot of battleships treating their heals just like they would normally in a regular random battle, and so that was very frustrating. And you know, you only have to play it once or whatever, or see somebody play it once or twice to have an understanding of what the hell's actually going on. But apparently that really wasn't the case, and you know, it just, that was really frustrating the first day or two, and so I just left it alone, came back the next day, and it seemed like people were starting to pick up on a few things a little bit more, and you know, there was better performance overall, save for the carriers. Most of the carriers, they were really truly stupendously bad, and they would just charge right towards the gates, and yeah, I suspect that with the upcoming Steam release, you'll see a lot more of that type of thing going on when we have these special events. So, but yeah, so looks like we are just about ready here. There we go. We got the win right there, and now some of these guys are dying, and we're all happy and excited. We got this last guy here. Just whip that shot off real fast, and boom, sneak a 14th kill. So 5 stars, pretty happy about that. Took a while, admittedly. I lost a lot, but you know, not the highest damage at all, that's for sure. But even a little bit of teamwork and just timing those particular consumables out when, you know, you have a chance to take out the Rasputin or the Gorgon. Awesome, works out beautifully. And this is what I mean. You'll see my damage go up to 100. Boom. We boost up our healing radius there considerably, and then at 200,000 it doubles from there, 400,000 it doubles from there. That's really significant. And you know, if you've got a destroyer in trouble, or you know, somebody's in trouble, just you know, pop that and try to help them out, because it makes a huge difference for the team overall, especially if you've got multiple battleships and you chain link that and everybody's always healing. Really good. But the invulnerability shield, boom, love that ram flag too, works really well. This is a really fun aspect for the battleship, like being able to ram like that. And I do have my Bismarck spec'd out for AA, so BFT, AFT, manual AA. And what else? I have auxiliary armaments 1, as well as AA range and main battery range, because everything's like super gimped on range. And I also run the range mod on the cruiser too, so that helped out a lot. I think it reaches out to like 10.3. But so I've got Nethercat on my left here, and he's got his heal going, and we've got a destroyer right in between us here. We're going for the Gorgon. I'm requesting for the carrier to go ahead and hit that disrupt to make sure that this enemy carrier doesn't get away, because we may be close, but the damn Shokaku's actually really fast, so I'd rather, you know, pin this guy down while we can. And we've got Torps coming in between us. Check this out. He uses his Torp reload booster, so he's got 4 sets of Torps coming in. Meanwhile, I'm coming in for the ram, and so is Nethercat, and check this sandwich out. Booyah! That was awesome. And, you know, overall, I do gotta give Wargaming props for this. Once you figure it out, it's a hell of a lot easier to get those 3, 4, 5-star completions. So, you know, and the thing is, again, this was just poorly explained. You know, the mechanics are so significantly different that, you know, without having in-game, in-match tooltips, that sort of thing, this type of event will fall flat on its face. The first few days are going to be really bad as people try to catch up and, you know, get up and running with it and get used to the different mechanics. And that's the only real fault with this. And obviously the frame rate issues, which, you know, hopefully people don't have too much of that. But yeah, in my opinion, great event marred by some communication issues basically, but again, that's really no surprise, but hopefully they'll get it right next time. And that's that. So hope you guys are having fun with this though, and thank you for watching today, and I'll see you next time. Take care.